It's an all-new 2025 Chevy High Country Duramax truck. It's sleek, it's classy, it's fresh as the morning dew. Just like our brand new to the scene country hit maker Chase McDaniel.
I traded a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards in 4th grade for an AC/DC record. This doesn't even feel real anymore. Nothing looks real, nothing feels real. I don't see that happening.
Today's episode is driven by Knippelmeyer Chevrolet in Blanchard, and it's one of the most inspiring conversations we've had in a while. This is Country Stars in Cars Getting Coffee.
Hello? Hey, Chase? Yeah, this is Chase. Well, this is Owen over here at Jake FM. What's up, man? Do you do coffee? Love coffee, yeah. Would you like to go try a new place? Absolutely. They've got chocolate, too. Perfect. Coffee and chocolate. I've got a Chevy if you've got the time. Come on. Okay.
Hey, let's go have some coffee. Josh, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Sweet.
Man, so Vegas first and then Oklahoma City?
Yeah, Vegas
Usually
first.
people around here go, Oklahoma City then Vegas.
You know, they probably could have done that. I don't know. I'm not in charge of
That's all right.
the books, but Vegas was fun. This is actually my second time in Oklahoma City.
What was your first?
When I was like 16, I used to do these like weightlifting competitions. So
Really?
So when I was young, my grandpa trained me in powerlifting, so like bench press, squat, deadlift, all that stuff.
Seriously?
And it was kind of just this thing the football team did, and I got good at it. And the national competition was here my junior and senior year.
I didn't know we did that here. Did you know that, Josh?
I did not know that.
Well, I don't know if they do it here
at all.
anymore.
Oh, because you put us out, didn't you?
No. My first airplane that I ever rode was to Oklahoma City.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you get the little necklace thing?
No.
No, I'm
was there-
kidding. That's
was
not a
there-
thing. That's not a thing. That would be a cool
Yeah.
thing, though.
Yeah, so I kept doing that. I went to college and started doing Olympic weightlifting, and then I had an accident.
Oh.
Hit my head, woke up in a cascade machine, didn't know who I was. So that ended
What's that like, not knowing who you are?
Scary.
No, seriously, because I see the movies and you
Yeah.
hear stories, and I've never, thankfully,
Yeah.
had that. But are you just sitting there just kind of like in yourself thinking, what is this?
Yeah, it's a really weird experience. Have you ever been like too high?
I can't. I'm pretty white bread.
Okay.
Chase. I got iced tea.
Well,
Have you ever been too high, Josh?
I've never been too high, no.
So when you get to that point, you're kind of like,
just questioning reality.
really?
Well, no, for me, like I thought I was dead. So I woke up in the cascade machine, like I thought I saw a light, but like looking back, it was just probably the lights of the machine blinking.
Yeah.
Like the tunnel.
So from what they told you, did someone like not spot you?
Well, that's another. So when I was 19, I believed I was fully invincible. I was driving 100 miles an hour everywhere I went. I didn't think anything could hurt me. So like my coach was out of town that day, left the workout on the board, and the American Open was in a couple weeks. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna max out.
And so you just pushed a little too hard.
I was by myself, and that was the number one rule. I'd never done it my whole life, was work out by myself and no max
Did
out.
you? This is before people did videoing in the gym, right?
I have a video of it.
No, you
Yep.
don't.
Had you
Swear.
posted it?
No, well, actually, maybe.
I've got like $20. Would you sell it to us so we can exclusively post it?
Yeah. Give me the rights.
that's
Give me
a
the
no.
rights to my
That sound
trauma.
like
There
you.
you go.
That sounds like a no.
That was
Josh.
a no. That was
Yeah,
a definite
okay.
no.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. The park is right here. Okay. Seriously,
These things are.
we didn't go very far, but now we're
We
going to have
did.
coffee. Welcome to Zero Tolerance.
Thanks. Sweet.
There will be no funny business. Was it like a cold turkey? I'm done with
The lifting?
the lifting, anything involved. I mean, it almost would have to be after like some sort of accident.
Yeah. It was pretty cold turkey. I got home that night and, or no, it was I don't remember when I got home actually, but I tried not to tell my family about it. I was trying to like hide it. Because I knew they wouldn't want me to do it anymore. So
And you still kind of wanted to.
Yeah, well, my friends picked me up from the hospital, and my college girlfriend at the time, and they took me to my grandma's house, and I had this bandage around my head and this neck brace on.
And they're going, so.
Well, no, my grandma's first thought was, oh, he probably just needs something to eat. He's probably hungry.
That is the grandma thought, isn't it? Can I make you a sandwich?
when I would typically go to my dad's house, like when I was a kid, I would just go to Mama and Papa's house. Because my dad was an addict, and so, you know, and they kind of like, they did a great job of just like figuring out like when it was safe to be around my dad and when it wasn't.
Yeah. So they, knowing your dad's situation, still tried to navigate a relationship for you.
Yeah. It was confusing and beautiful and heartbreaking. It was all the things, man. I mean, we were each other's second chance in a way. My grandparents experienced more grief than anybody that I've known in this world because they lost 2 sons. They lost my Uncle Ricky before I was born, and then my dad to his addiction when I was a teenager. So I grew up in that house where it was just, it was a lot of sadness. There was a lot of grief in that home, you know. So they saved my life in a lot of ways.
And that's something to see grief firsthand.
Yeah.
That if you've ever been to a funeral,
Yeah.
as a, you know, paying respects,
Yeah.
you get in your car, you leave.
Yeah.
You may think about them a couple of days down the road. Other than that, there's a loneliness factor of understanding.
Yeah.
How do you think they dealt with that, or how did you even deal with that? Because were you a teenager yet before your dad passed away?
Yeah, I was 17 actually.
Yeah.
So I watched the whole progression, the decline. There is just such an isolation in the grief when you don't know anybody else who's been through your situation. And
Or you feel like there's not a single person who has, right?
Right. And so I think he took on the role as maybe the teacher. He's so wise. Yeah, it's isolating in a sense, but like, you know, he found his world. My mama is unconditional love incarnate, and then, you know, I've kind of found music where it was an outlet for me to express what I couldn't say out loud. It's weird, like you go to, like I went off to college and like, you know, I just like lost my dad and really my family to grief all at the same time. So
that's true. You kind of lose that sense of who they were.
There is an island experience, So I dove into songs, I dove into music, and that's where I think I found peace. So it was the middle of the pandemic, and I had lost all 3 jobs that I had at the time. So I've always had multiple jobs.
Due to the pandemic.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then trying to do music at the same time. So the pandemic hits, I'm down to my last 11, 12 bucks in my bank account.
Yeah.
And we're having a party at the house that I was in at the time. And I'm like realizing this is my last hoorah, you know, in Nashville. And so I go out
because you're going to go home.
Yeah, I think I have to, you know.
Yeah.
So I go out to my car, my check engine light's on, and a buddy of mine came out half drunk to my car, sees that I'm like emotional on the phone with my mama, asking if she has a bed for me to come back home to.
And of course.
And he's like, man, I've had the best year of my life. My company has like been really successful this year. Would you let me help you pay your rent this month? Because I really believe in these songs that you're writing. And of course, I'm not the kind of guy to take a handout, so I fought him on it.
What do you mean you fought him on it? Like,
well, just like
I can't do this?
Yeah, kind of. Like we just kind of went back and forth, argued about it. But this was a friend he'd been my best friend since 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Like we went on like 4-H camps together. Like,
yeah.
You know, and the fact that he was even in Nashville, because he lived in Kansas City at the time, was strange.
Yeah.
But you know, like always, like somebody will ask me to pick up a guitar and play a few songs at a party, so I did that night. Yeah. And he's like, man, I just really believe in this, and I don't want you to give up the shit, please. And so, you know, I took him up on his offer, and the next week I got a job waiting tables. So I had struggled with mental health for years before I ever accepted anyone's help.
Because the pinnacle of that problem is I can figure this out on my own.
I always thought that I could beat it intellectually.
Yeah.
Like if I figure this out in my head with my own thoughts, no one will ever have to know that I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Because I think I was concerned that people would think that I was crazy, or people would think that I was dramatic.
That's a negative dude side.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Of having whatever perspective that it was going to bring.
Right. You don't have it all figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't.
Yeah. trying to think of the right way to put this, but I had let my mind get to such a bad place because I didn't know what mental illness was. Like I didn't know. I thought that there was two things: normal, crazy. That was it.
Yeah.
That was my spectrum
no
of understanding.
Yeah.
Growing up in Greensboro, Kentucky. So I began to, and I'd struggled with it my whole life and just hid it behind closed doors. But when I left home, my dad died. I had the concussion accident. I went through a breakup. I lost my scholarship. So like all of these things were happening. And my mind turned on me. Like it just went to this dark place that I had never experienced to that extent, you know? And I later found out that it was, you know, things like obsessive compulsive disorder, DPDR, major depressive disorder, severe panic attacks. Like all of these things were kind of like a mixed bag. And so I lived like that for years. Until one day I decided that I think the only way out of this is to die. I didn't want to die. I was actually afraid of dying, if anything. And I was in Louisville, Kentucky, and I made my way to a bridge, and I said, I'm going to jump off this bridge, and because this doesn't even feel real anymore. Nothing looks real, nothing feels real. Life doesn't feel normal. I just want to feel normal again, and I don't see that happening. And there I am, inches away from the ledge, and a friend of mine who should not have been there was there at 3 a.m. and pulled me back over a bridge. And he hugged me. We both cried.
Can you still hear his voice in that moment?
Yeah. Well, he's just like this super tall guy, like, you know, too, like, which helps because, you know, I'm pretty far over this concrete ledge, and I just remember feeling these long arms kind of come around, you know, my shoulders, and just my whole body's like been horizontal, you know, over this.
What was his reasoning for being there?
He knew something was wrong with me. And I think that he was kind of, maybe, I don't know if he had an intuition or maybe been following me around or whatever, but Louisville's a big city. There's no reason that we should have been in the same area at the same time of night. We had been together earlier that night, but then we went our separate ways. I was kind of in my own world.
The night was over type thing.
I went off on my own. I climbed this fire escape, like looking out over the city, kind of just taking in the views and everything, and just was like, this is it, you know? Like I can't even make the world look beautiful anymore. Like I'm trying so hard to like.
See, is it frustrating, or do you understand when someone hears you say something like that?
Yeah.
And they think, where does that even come from?
Yeah.
Why would you put your mindset in that situation?
Yeah.
When you couldn't control that thought.
No, there was no control over that. Because I tried to control it. I tried so hard to control it. There was no, and if I could, I would have.
Sure.
You know, and that was the feeling of failure. It was like, man, but what I think I needed was exactly what he gave me in that moment. Was he hugged me?
Yeah.
Told me I was important. He told me that I mattered.
Mm-hmm.
And that it was possible to get better. You know, this didn't have to be the end.
All things like 30 seconds before that, you didn't.
No.
You didn't. Yeah. About yourself, anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think what was in that was just the power of human connection, like being seen for the first time. And I wish it didn't have to get to that point, but it did. And then after that, I started my journey of trying to figure out how to get through the forest, how to get through the dark, you know, the chaos. There is a strength, there is a positive feeling that comes with realizing that even on the days where you felt like there's no one going to make it through this, like fighting every second for a breath, you know. I hate to admit this, but for so many years, I don't know that I believed in anything at all, because when you go to that,
why? Because there's Christians, there's people who have faith, and then you look at their very cookie cutter, easy lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's easy, right?
Yeah, right.
But what gives a guy like you who had a tough raising, lost his dad to addiction.
Yeah.
What gives you any reason to look up and think, thanks for that?
Somebody cares. Yeah, I think that was. I thought I was on an intellectual journey. I thought I was saying, you know what? Maybe God's not real because.
Yeah.
Really, what I was saying was, I'm hurt. I'm really hurt, God.
Yeah.
And so now looking back, I see this thread of just doesn't make any sense.
3 a.m. Your buddy's on the bridge.
Yeah.
The guy calls and pays your rent.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a sense of somewhat accepting the existence and that was divinely guided in a way?
More than ever.
Yeah.
More than ever. Feeling so responsible for things that were out of my control, I think even contributed to my separation from God.
Yeah.
So forgiving myself has been a journey. I don't think I ever understood how to forgive myself. Like, I feel like God was...
Do you feel that way now? Can you?
I think I'm learning. But then, like, what do I do with this hatred for me?
Yeah.
Like, because I hate myself, that I messed up. And
well, I mean, even in those moments of being, at the lowest of low, knowing that you were loved even then is something for me that kind of takes my breath away in a sense. But
you saying that just, it makes me emotional. But to think back to those moments, when you feel so alone, only to realize that you might not have ever been alone.
Not from the moment, man.
Yeah.
Not from the moment you were born.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, I didn't see our conversation taking this.
No, I didn't. But, you were just telling Kevin the first time in Oklahoma City was for the weightlifting thing?
Yeah.
And that was also your first time to do what?
Go to Hooters.
Go to Hooters. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Why? Was this the coach's idea?
Let's
take these 16-year-old boys over to my favorite spot.
Yeah, it's probably my idea. We went for the wings, man. Everybody knows
I
that.
didn't go out of the wings.
Yeah. What are you doing? Squat?
Squat. Yeah.
That's great. No, you're so far so good.
Too low?
No, actually, you want to break parallel, and you did it, so you're good.
And then you got to push up after that. How much weight did you do?
I think that one I did it was close to 500. I think it was 490 something. Yeah.
Close enough.
That was squat was my best lift though. I mean.
This is where Josh can rejoin the conversation.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Perfect.
We're on a radio budget.
I love it.
But thanks to Knifflemeyer Chevrolet, we're in a fancy Duramax.
Dude, this is sweet, man.
So all the stuff with the airline, with flights.
I had flight anxiety before it was cool, man.
Okay. Yeah. What do you do to combat that?
Well, it's so funny. Like, I used to love airplanes because I was obsessed with Star Trek as a kid. So my dream as a kid, like a young kid, was to fly on the Starship Enterprise and go to different planets and make friends with the aliens. That was my dream.
Okay.
And so I had all these space books and I was obsessed with space. And then one day I woke up in bad turbulence. and I was like, I guess I can't
you were conked out on the plane and you woke up because of bad turbulence.
Exactly.
Which they say the turbulence is just, it's fine.
Right, yeah.
It's fine. No need to.
Couldn't be an astronaut anymore, I guess.
We were done.
I think all it takes is one bad plane experience, too.
Yeah.
For a lot of people. Yeah. You're right, Josh.
But I've heard that if you drink 3 rum and cokes on the way to LAX, you will get off in LAX and not know where your gate or your bags are.
Oh.
Is this from experience? Or you said you've heard?
Well,
Apparently, from a very close source.
3 drinks at 40,000 feet feels different than.
So you said not so much anymore.
Yeah. I've just been responsible for the last couple of years.
Is it a sober kick?
Yeah, I think so. Like,
you're the second
really
Country Stars in Cars Getting Coffee guest who's on a sober kick.
Really?
Now I haven't followed up with John Party.
Oh, okay.
But last time back in December we talked to him. That's where he was about 14 days in.
He was.
Oh, that's he's right in the thick of it, man. Yeah, I feel that.
Is it? Well, Ashley McBride posted her 1,000 day.
Wow, that's awesome.
She said
Yeah.
If this is day 1 or day 0 or day 0 again,
Yeah.
keep it up.
I love that, man. That's awesome.
Because that can be hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, especially when you're, an
In your
entertainer,
world.
and you're trying to figure out, like, who am I without this, lubricant? Like that gets me, ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hey, thank you, brother. This has been fun. This has been a good time.
A great therapy session as well.
Well, I think I needed it too.